Indianapolis is best known as being home to the Colts NFL team, hosting the Indy 500 race, and maybe not much else. Indy actually has some really intriguing elements, and many millennials have been moving to the area to take advantage of a growing job market in a city that is bigger than Denver, Boston, or even Nashville. Let's learn more about Indy so you can decide if it may be a good fit for you. Indianapolis has a population of over 875,000 residents, and Indy has been expanding a lot lately due to the low cost of living and family-friendly reputation. The median home price is just over $180,000, but this is a little misleading. They actually have some areas of town that are really run down and dilute the median price. If some of these homes were fixed up or off the market, you'd probably have a median price of around $200,000 or higher. Median earnings in the city are pretty low for the average resident, but many of the higher earning individuals live in places like Zionsville, Carmel, and Fishers to the north. You can earn good money in Indianapolis, but I wouldn't expect to earn really high amounts of wealth in this city. Their income taxes are around 5%, and sales taxes are very reasonable compared to other larger cities. Crime in Indianapolis is a major concern. The violent crime rate is 89% higher than the nation's average, and while that is pretty bad, the violent crime rates are almost 180% higher. If you are in the more touristy areas or heavily trafficked places, they are much more likely to be patrolled and have a lower crime rate. So if you're looking to move to this area, you do need to visit to determine where you can afford and feel safe. Indianapolis is actually a more diverse city than you may anticipate. Their population is about 56% white, 10% Hispanic, almost 28% Black, 3% Asian, 0.2% Native American, and 2.6% of residents are two or more races. Now, Indianapolis's neighborhoods can have a tendency to be a bit segregated, so I wouldn't expect it to feel as much like a melting pot as you might have in some other larger metro areas. Indiana is a more conservative state, and the Republican nominee has carried Indiana 13 of the last 14 elections. Donald Trump won the state by over 16%. But the city of Indianapolis is a different story altogether. Joe Biden won over 63% of Marion County's population, while Donald Trump only won about 34%. If you want to live in a conservative county, every county surrounding Marion voted for Donald Trump, so there are plenty of options even within 20 miles from downtown. Indianapolis's climate is definitely not a selling point for the Hoosier state. Indiana has been known to get their share of tornadoes, even though some don't consider them to be in Tornado Alley. Their average low in January is only 20 degrees, and they average 22 inches of annual snowfall. They also exceed the national average in terms of average rain for the year. Indy will see about 186 days of annual sunshine, and July highs will be around 84 degrees. So they aren't the worst place in the world, but people probably aren't going to move to Indy for their weather. Indianapolis isn't considered to be a very entertaining city, but it may surprise you in the variety of options you have throughout the area. Tourists enjoy checking out Monument Circle, where they have coffee, shops, and restaurants in the surrounding areas. They have some beautiful walkways and urban trails throughout the area and lots of family spots, like the zoo, children's museum, or even one of the local art museums. Indianapolis locals enjoy rooting for the Pacers, Fever, and especially the Colts. Basketball is also really big in Indiana, and the Hoosiers basketball team is only about an hour away, and the Butler Bulldogs are actually right in town. Now, The biggest sporting event in the city is actually the Indianapolis 500 car race. In fact, the Speedway can host more attendees than any other sporting facility in the entire world. Indy is within 4 hours of major cities like Chicago, Columbus, Cincinnati, Louisville, and St. Louis. So it has a convenient location for local traveling and for business purposes. Indianapolis may not have hiking like the West or warm, sunny weather like the South, but don't get it twisted. There is a lot of natural beauty within the state. They have a national park, many lakes, and beautiful nature trails. If you are looking for some options outside of Indianapolis, there are some really nice communities that you may consider, like Avon, Noblesville, or Greenwood. They are solid options that are a bit safer and more prosperous than Indy, but not as expensive as places like Fisher and Westfield that are booming right now and are a good middle to high-end option in the area. And if you really want to live with the cream of the crop, Zionsville and Carmel may be the go-to options, but you are gonna spend a good amount of money out that way. Now, if Indianapolis or one of these suburbs don't feel like a great fit for you, that's okay. Check out a video or playlist right on the screen. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more great content. And of course, take care.